Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff Joins, President of the Board of Directors for Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. I welcome you to our 84th annual meeting. Thank you for your interest in the business of your cooperative. Again, this year we're conducting the annual meeting in a partially remote fashion for the safety of our members, employees, and our board members. We say partially because voting by ballot must be conducted in person. We have been encouraging you, our members, to participate by phone like last year's annual meeting and our popular telephone town halls. This year we are also live streaming on YouTube, which can be accessed by Facebook, and the meeting will be posted on our website for future reference. However, in order to participate in the motions and to ask questions live at the end of the annual meeting, you must be part of the call-in process. To join the annual meeting live, simply call 1-866-416-5215. I'll repeat that number, 1-866-416-5215. You must also have your member account number and have it handy when you make the call. We appreciate your participation today. During this meeting on two different occasions, I'll be asking meeting attendees to approve or oppose motions being made. I will be prompting you to press *3, that's *3, if you want to discuss that motion before voting. You will then be asked to press 1 to vote yes or press 2 to vote no. Please be prepared to respond when prompted. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to call on Vice President David Eggers, a director from the Caldwell District, to give our invocation. David Eggers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could you join me in prayer, please? Thank you for this day and all days that have been given. Thank you for where we live in these beautiful mountains and foothills. Thank you for this meeting, and may your grace, love, and mercy be with us during this meeting. Give it meaning and purpose, productivity, and usefulness. May everything we do give you honor. Bless all who are in this meeting. Bless our employees who work hard to bring energy to our members. Bless our members, especially those who are struggling in life. And lastly, we ask forgiveness for our sins and make us kind to one another. Amen.
Thank you, David. As chairman of this annual meeting, I hereby call the meeting to order and declare that the business meeting is now in session. I would like to appoint Lisa Bryant as secretary and Debbie Harden, our general counsel, as the parliamentarian for this meeting. At the close of business on June the 17th, 2021, Blue Ridge had 60,607 active members who are entitled to vote at today's meeting. Article 2, Section 2.04 of our bylaws states registration in person, by proxy, or by return of ballots and proxies of at least 400 members of the cooperative shall be required for the transaction of business at any meeting of the members. As of 3:59 this afternoon, approximately 6,000 Blue Ridge members have registered either in person or by proxy. We have met the bylaw requirement for our quorum. Thank you to all the members who chose to be involved in your director election process. The notice of the meeting was mailed as a part of the May edition of the Carolina Country magazine to all members in late April 2021. It was updated as referenced and noticed in the June Carolina Country magazine with specific instructions for remote participation by telephone and special arrangements for those voting by ballot in the June Carolina Country. This was also posted on the Blue Ridge website. Director election kits were sent to members on May the 26th, and the number of proxies returned indicate receipt of the voting information. The decision to hold this meeting remotely was made by the board back in April at our board meeting. Supplemental notice of the annual meeting and instructions for participating in this remote meeting process were mailed in the June edition of Carolina Country Magazine to members, and that was received in late May. At this time, do I hear a motion to dispense with the reading of the notice of the meeting?
I make that motion, Mr. President.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
I have a second. Now, if anyone wants to discuss this motion to dispense with the reading of the notice of the meeting, press *3. Again, that's *3. Since we are doing this by telephone, it may take a few seconds to learn if any members would like to discuss the motion. So there will be a short pause while we wait just a moment. Hearing none, you may now participate in the voting process. As I mentioned earlier, you are now being prompted to vote on the pending motion. To approve this motion, press 1 on your phone now. Or should you oppose, press 2 on your phone now. Once again, I'll pause for just a moment. I have received notice that the motion has been approved. I have before me a copy of the minutes of the June 25th, 2020 annual meeting. These minutes were also made available to you via the website and other means for your review, and I would like to dispense with the reading of these minutes. I would like to have a motion requesting the board approve these minutes at their next regular meeting, which is scheduled immediately following this meeting, and to dispense with the reading of the minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. President, I make that motion.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Now, if anyone wants to discuss this motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes, it's your time to press *3. And I'll wait for just a moment. Hearing none, you may now participate in the voting process. As I reminded you before, you are being prompted to vote on the pending motion. If you want to approve this motion, press 1 on your phone now. Or should you oppose, press 2 on your phone now. We'll pause for a moment while I wait on confirmation. The motion has been approved and we'll move forward. In the June edition of Carolina Country, it was mailed to you and you received an agenda which includes the rules for this annual meeting. These rules were approved by your board of directors, and this meeting will be conducted in accordance with those rules and the bylaws. The first order of business is the election of directors. I'd like to ask our General Counsel, Debbie Harden, to review the voting process for the election of directors. Attorney Harden.
Thank you, Mr. Joines. Good afternoon. I'm Debbie Harden. I have the privilege of describing the election process and working you through it today. Each year, Blue Ridge members have the option to vote before the annual meeting by returning a completed proxy by mail or by internet. Again, this year, we had excellent member participation in the director election. More than 5,700 of you voted by mail or internet during the proxy process. At this time, I want to just introduce the 4 directors who have served for the last 3 years, but terms are expiring today. Those are Kelly Melton of the Caldwell District, Joy Coffey of the Watauga District, Cindy Price of the Ash District, and Mitch Franklin of the Allegheny District. Thank you to the 4 of you for your service. Now let's turn to the nominations process itself. A director candidate may be nominated in one of 2 ways. The first method is by and through the nominating committee. The nominating committee evaluates candidates for each open director seat based upon the applications received on or before the first business day of March. After review, the nominating committee may nominate 1 or more candidates for each of the open seats. Additionally, the Blue Ridge bylaws provide for a second method for nomination for a director seat. That is by petition. A director candidate may be nominated by petition, which is signed by 20 members, 5 from each of the 4 different districts of Blue Ridge, as long as that petition is filed on or before the first business day in April. This year, there were no nominations by petitions received, so there are no petition candidates. In 2021, the nominating committee for Blue Ridge Electric was as follows: Caldwell District, Libby Killian and Jackie Bradshaw; Watauga District, Curtis Main and Jimmy Friley; Ash District, Melanie Miller and Sean Horton; Allegheny District, Randy Miles, Charles Rudy, and Lisa Bottomley. On behalf of all of the Blue Ridge membership, we thank these members of the nominating committee for participating in this process and making it transparent and possible. This year, the nominating committee met on March 9th and nominated a slate of 5 candidates for the 4 open board seats. The official report of the nominations committee was publicly posted in all of Blue Ridge Electric's offices and on the website. Now I have the pleasure of introducing those 5 candidates who were nominated by the nominating committee for this year's election. They are Caldwell District, Kelly Melton; Watauga District, Joy Coffey; Ash District, Cindy Price and Christopher Bourne; Allegheny District, Mitch Franklin. On behalf of the membership, we thank each of these 5 candidates for agreeing to stand for election by the members. Finally, turning to the qualifications that are required of each director candidate. From the bylaws, it provides, in order to be eligible to become or remain a director of this cooperative, candidates must meet director qualifications set forth in Section 3.02 of the bylaws. The candidates, all 5 of them that were before you in this election, met those qualifications. Now, as to the election itself, I have the privilege of serving as the presiding chair over the election of directors. I hereby declare that the polls for voting on the election of directors for Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation are hereby open. What does that mean? If you are one of the over 5,700 members who've already voted by mail or by internet through the proxy process, then you do not need to do anything else for your vote to count. If, however, you have not voted in this year's election, or you wish to change the vote that you submitted by proxy, then you should have already arrived in person and be on site today at the corporate office. You would be in the appropriate voting area at the front of the corporate office building because we're still following COVID guidelines. I am going to check to see if any members have arrived today to vote. So I will pause in front of you. I've been informed that there are no members who have arrived to vote or changed their vote in person by ballot today. I hereby declare registration and the polls officially closed as of 4:16 p.m. The election results will be tabulated, and we will report them to you if they are available later during this meeting. So I now return the chair to President Joynes. Thank you.
Thank you. The next order of business will be brief reports from myself, then Secretary Treasurer Joy Coffey, the Chief Financial Officer Katie Woodle, and the Chief Executive Officer Doug Johnson. Later in the meeting, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions. Now it's my pleasure to deliver the President's report. I'd like to welcome you once again to your Cooperatives annual meeting. It's a sincere wish that all of you are healthy and safe as we have experienced the challenges of COVID-19 for the last year or more. We continue measures of safety by bringing you the annual meeting again today, this year by telephone, while you can listen and participate by voting on motions and asking questions by the telephone. We've also added the live stream, which hopefully some of you are watching at this time. And this is a simple way that you can participate in your meeting. It's important for you to stay updated on the events of your cooperative. And later, we'll also be posting a recording of this meeting on the Blue Ridge Energy website. As we turn to the business of this annual meeting, let me say that making life better for all those we serve continues to be at the heart of everything we do. Your board, your cooperative's management, and all employees are working on your behalf for your best interest. One way we do this is through the Blue Ridge Energy Members Foundation. The foundation is funded by donations from members joining Operation Roundup, as well as donations from your cooperative's Ridgelink and propane and fuels subsidiaries, as you'll see in your annual report. In 2020, we quickly realized the impact that COVID-19 would have on our members, so we created another source of funding for the foundation, our COVID-19 Relief Fund, which was called In This Together. With so many in our area hurting from the economic impact of COVID-19, the decision was made to dedicate all foundation funds from last year to crisis energy bills and for assistance. A record number of those in need were helped. This came from the Blue Ridge Energy Members Foundation. Over 2,300 members and customers who were struggling to pay electric and propane and fuels bills received assistance. We're very appreciative of the board members, management, employees, and others in the community who donated. As a result, over $265,000 was used to help during this time of need. We were also able to continue support of our communities in other ways. Even with remote learning, funds were still needed for education and the unique needs of 2020. Blue Ridge Energy awarded $25,000 in Bright Idea grants to educators in their region. Another $32,000 in scholarships was awarded to local youth pursuing higher education. We're also helping support safe and strong communities through our role in the government's Rural Economic Development Loan and Grant Program. In 2020, we helped local communities secure over $2 million. These funds are being used to build or improve local fire departments and also for economic development. I'm also pleased to report your cooperative's efforts to improve local communities with broadband. The pandemic has highlighted the great need for this service and we need to have it reach the unserved. And we're working on that. Our first project has begun in Northeast Caldwell County thanks to a state of North Carolina great grant. And this funds a very expensive endeavor for Blue Ridge and our partners. Please be assured that we are working to secure additional grant funds to bring this vital service to other local areas that are in need. As I close, I'd like to thank the Blue Ridge members serving on the Nominating Committee, the Credential and Election Committee, member advisory committees, and the Community Leaders Council. We appreciate your service. I also want to thank all of our Blue Ridge Energy employees. You have worked tirelessly and safely, especially this arduous time dealing with COVID. And you have kept the energy flowing, and the best service has been provided to our members. We appreciate what you've done. Thank you so much for your service in this difficult year. Finally, to everyone listening today, thank you for your time and participation in our meeting. Now it's time for your cooperative's financial report. I'd like to introduce Joy Coffey from the Watauga District. She is our board secretary treasurer. Joy Coffey.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for joining our virtual annual meeting. I'm very pleased to report to you this afternoon that our cooperative is in a strong and desirable position of financial well-being. 8 straight years without a rate increase and the return of over $5 million annually in capital credits the past few years are just 2 examples of our cooperative's strong financial condition. Your cooperative's positive results reflect our dedication to provide a strong cooperative for the members. It's achieved by prudent strategic planning and execution by leadership and all employees of Blue Ridge Energy. I hope you've had time to review the annual report contained in the Statement of Operations. The balance sheet of the cooperative is found in your June issue of Carolina Country. 2020 was a year of challenge and difficulty for many due to COVID-19. I speak on behalf of the board and everyone at Blue Ridge Energy when I say we are very pleased that your cooperative was able to help members in their time of need. Among other efforts, our In This Together COVID-19 Relief Fund helped over 2,300 members and thousands of dollars in crisis energy assistance. These contributions came from your board, employees, members, and other residents in local communities. Thank you to all who contributed to make a difference. I'm also pleased to report in 2020 we were able to continue much needed community support in other areas. For example, we're helping bring broadband to pockets of our service area lacking this critical service. As President Joines stated in his remarks, we secured a state GREAT grant and are partnering with SkyBest Communications as our Ridgelink subsidiary has begun construction for Northwest Caldwell County. We're also working to secure grants for Watauga County and other areas as well. We also assisted in securing $2 million in interest-free red leg loans and grants in order to provide zero-interest loans to local communities and organizations. That applies to receive funds for projects and improve local quality of life. These rural economic development funds help retain and create jobs, improve emergency fire and rescue response, and assist with improvements to local hospitals, youth and elder resources, and more. I hope you'll join me in our appreciation of our 2020 results, led by your cooperative CEO, the executive team, and all the dedicated employees of Blue Ridge Energy. Blue Ridge Energy, who exemplifies the heart of a service for every day of every working member in all of our communities. At this time, I'd like to ask our Cooperative Chief Financial Officer, Katie Woodle, to come forward and present the financial report.
Thank you, Joy, and thank you to the entire membership for the opportunity to present the financial report for your cooperative for the year ended 2020. This report does include the consolidated financial results for Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation, as well as the cooperative's wholly owned and for-profit subsidiaries, Blue Ridge Energies LLC and Ridgelink LLC. Well, as we talk about 2020, we certainly hear the word challenges, and our cooperative members certainly saw a lot of challenges during 2020. But as you heard from our president, the cooperative's overall vision is to make life better for those member owners that we serve. In keeping with the cooperative's vision, the cooperative quickly responded to the pandemic by suspending disconnections early on and starting the In This Together campaign that you've heard the others speaking about today. Blue Ridge has such a wonderful region and membership that we serve, and everyone came together to help each other during this time of need. While 2020 was full of challenges, I'm happy to report that strong financial results continued for your cooperative and the associated subsidiaries throughout the year. The cooperative's asset base ended in 2020 at $474 million, with a member equity ending at $183 million, which equates to 39% of the total assets. This is right in line with the ratio we like to see for this benchmark. And given that financial stability, Blue Ridge was able to return $5.5 million of the equity back to you, our membership, this year during the capital credit retirement process that just occurred last month in May. The cooperative has also been able to continue without a rate increase in 2020, and I'm happy to report once again we'll be able to do that throughout this year, and we don't have a rate increase planned for 2021. Certainly welcome news as we come out of a pandemic this year. Another relatively warm year in 2020 as far as your operations go resulted in lower kilowatt-hour sales and lower propane gallons sold as compared to 2019. Obviously, the pandemic did play a role in our sales volumes, both from kilowatt-hour sales and from the gallons sold at propane and fuels. We did see a shift from commercial sales to more residential sales. I know many of us were staying at home more in 2020. The electric kilowatt-hour sales were down by approximately 3% compared to 2019, and at propane and fuels, we saw gallon sales down by about 8%. Market conditions did remain stable throughout the year for both electric and propane and fuels, and the cooperative continues to implement initiatives through the WorkSmart program to provide for cost containment and expense reductions. As for Ridgelink, the for-profit dark fiber subsidiary, financial growth continues as the company expands its footprint and the customer base grows. The two subsidiaries together contributed $3.2 million in net benefit to Blue Ridge Electric members during 2020. Every year I talk about meter growth and how flat we have seen meter growth in the last several years, and it's been a challenge for us. However, I'm happy to report that we saw a slight uptick in this growth and the trends that we saw in 2020 compared to the years where I've been reporting flat results. This, along with the continued focus on cost savings, the strong subsidiary performance, have all contributed to resulting in a strong overall financial result for your cooperative. For 2020, the total margins were almost $11 million. As Joy mentioned, you can find more details of the financial results for 2020 in the annual report that's published this month in Carolina Country, as well as through a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy and Katie, for your reports. Now I'd like to take a moment to introduce our Chief Executive Officer. Doug Johnson will be here in just a moment to provide his annual report. Doug has worked at Blue Ridge for 43 years, and he has served as our CEO since 1989. That's 32 of those 43. Our cooperative is achieving outstanding results, thanks in part to Doug's leadership and the hard work of our employees. I'm sure Doug will share more about these results at this time. CEO Johnson.
Thank you, President Joins. And sometimes when I hear how long I've been working at Blue Ridge Energy, it's a little bit humbling to think about being here, but I love what I do, and I love working for you, our member owners. And I want to thank you for being with us today and joining us in this annual meeting. But I especially want to thank you for the opportunity that I've been entrusted with to serve as your Chief Executive Officer. It's been mentioned a couple of times how difficult COVID-19 has been for our operations, for our employees, for you and our communities, our members. But I'm grateful to you, and I'm grateful to our employees that we worked together and we got through this very difficult time, got through these serious challenges. We were able to work with our team, all of our employees, to keep all the energy flowing to you and to make it through those worst days with every employee of this cooperative fully employed. And I'm proud of that, and I'm proud to share that with you. And I think that's why we were able to deliver such strong performance to you in 2020. When I look at our key performance indicators last year, once again, our employee team just outdid themselves. We've had a long run of many years of delivering top-notch results, and I think it's because our employees truly believe in our motto, we work for those who own this cooperative, so we should give nothing less than our very best. And we live that every day. And when I kind of take a quick overview of some of the key performance indicators, the one that I'm really proud of is the American Consumer Satisfaction Index, which measures member satisfaction. And we scored 89 in that last year. The average cooperative in America, electric cooperative, averaged 73. That is significantly higher level service and says to us that our members believe that we serve you well and that we serve you with a servant's heart. At our propane and fuels company, we scored a perfect 10 out of 10 in customer satisfaction. So I'm just very proud of those. And then the other things that I feel really good about in our results from 2020 is the performance and reliability for electric operations. We are in top quartile in the country for keeping the lights on at 69.44 minutes on system average interruption duration. And that's how we measure how often you have an outage, how long you're interrupted. And that's just incredible service when you consider the terrain we serve and the weather that we have. Again, we're continuing to have outstanding safety results. We have a strong safety performance culture. We have employee-led safety teams. So we're very proud of the results that we're achieving in employee safety and in public safety. It's been mentioned by Katie about our rates. I have to say that too, because I'm so pleased that we've been able to have such incredible work smart results, good favorable wholesale power cost, and our subsidiary results that provides net benefits from both these for-profit companies, such that we've had opportunity to go 8 years without raising your rates. And we just think that's an outstanding result to be achieved. So as we look to the future, the 2020 year is behind us, and here we are mid-year 2021. And we spend a lot of time thinking about and talking about our vision for the future and what's the strategy that we need to embrace to keep this cooperative performing well and providing the kind of results that you deserve as our members. We recently announced a new, brighter future vision that we've been sharing with you that has 3 key pillars in it. The first is to enrich the lives of our members and the communities that you live in. We do that in a lot of ways through economic development, through the loans and grants that Joy talked about, through the Red Leg program with our fire departments and other ways. We do it through youth programs and lots of member involvement programs and just so many different ways that we are continuing and plan to continue to enrich the lives of people in our community and the members we serve. We also have embraced a low carbon goal. We've set a goal to be 50% below 2005 levels by 2030 and carbon neutral by 2050. And we're developing initiatives to help us achieve this. I think it's important that I state that this goal is not a political goal. This is a business goal. And we believe in looking at our business when we set this goal around carbon, we believe we need to have in the generation mix nuclear, natural gas, solar, wind, hydro, and I think to come there'll be battery storage and things as we get the price of those to a more favorable place. So it's a more of an all of the above because we believe we have to provide reliable, affordable, and sustainable power to you. And if we don't meet all 3 of those standards, then we will have failed in our vision. Because the final pillar of our vision is low cost. We can't pursue a low carbon agenda that causes damage to your pocketbook. So we've got to do all this together very smartly. We've got to make our grid more efficient, more resilient. We've got to work with people for more distributed energy resources out on the grid in ways that enable us to meet these 3 pillars of our vision in a very effective way that we're helping our environment, we're helping your pocketbook, and we're keeping the lights on regularly, and we don't see something happen here like happened down in Texas this past February. We also have other initiatives we're excited about. We're under construction in our 11 megawatt utility scale solar here in Caldwell County. That's going to provide a lot of economic benefit for our members. We're pleased with that. We have 5 community solar gardens that have been fully subscribed to. We actually have a waiting list now of people wanting to subscribe to a panel. We're continuing to provide lots of energy efficiency rebates as members improve their home energy efficiency. And we've got the Beat the Peak program going full scale now, lots of people participating. You're going to be hearing more about beneficial electrification, and one of the major programs in that is electric vehicle and the encouragement of people to engage with and consider purchasing an EV. So you'll be hearing more from us about that in the days ahead. We would also say that we've all been developing and working with the board to provide advanced net metering or time of use rates that are available for people who want to home charge their electric vehicle, or if you want to have a whole house advanced time of use rate, or if you want to team that up with rooftop solar. So a lot of exciting things happening. In the wholesale power cost area, which is a major component of our rates, we buy power from Duke Energy Carolinas through a wholesale power contract, and we've continued to experience very excellent wholesale power cost. And you'll be hearing from us after we meet with our board this afternoon after the annual meeting and share some information with them. You, the members, will be hearing from us that you can expect to be receiving a really nice refund very soon in the next period of time here. So we'll be excited to share that with you after we meet with the board later today. So this past year in our generation fleet with Duke, we saw much less coal being used, a whole lot more solar, a whole lot more hydro with all the rain we've had, and a whole lot more natural gas. And that has all come together to contribute to a lower energy cost and a lower carbon footprint. I've been sharing with you that we're in the midst of one of our largest capital investments in Ashe and Watauga County as we bring the 230 kV line over from Ashe County to Watauga County. We're now building the second phase of that line in Watauga County, and I'm really proud to share with you that we're building that with Blue Ridge Energy crews. We have our own linemen and field management on site building that line, and gives us great opportunity for training, gives us great insight for maintenance and reliability, in that our own people have built the line and they understand how to operate it. That's very important. Some 17 miles of line that we're building, finishing up to a new 230 kV substation in the Rutherwood community of Watauga County. And that's going to allow us to provide reliable and resilient electric service to our mountain counties for many, many years. So additional initiatives that you're going to be hearing us talk about is advanced metering. We're getting ready to do some change outs to our automated metering, which is an advanced system that will allow us to have much, much better meter data for you. We're putting in a new meter data management system. And I think the ability to work with you, our members, in your homes and with distributed energy resources and provide a whole new level of usage data for you to manage your home energy bill with is going to be incredibly exciting, and that'll be rolling out over the next 3 years. I would be remiss if I didn't say we're also experiencing, as I've been sharing with you, a significant number of us baby boomers retiring. We're seeing a lot of employee retirements happening, a lot of people being promoted from within, a lot of recruiting, and I'm really pleased to say we have a large number of people who apply for our jobs, and we're really attracting some cream of the crop talent. And as I go around and talk to our new employees, I'm just excited. When we retire, we're going to turn this over to a next generation team that's going to take Blue Ridge to an even higher level. Well, let me just say thank you to all of our employees, those of us that have been around for a while and those that have just joined this cooperative. And just thank you, employees, for the incredible year of service and the results that you delivered in 2020. You know, our culture here is based on strong values, hard work, and a deep belief that providing great service to our members is what we're here for. And we have a strong commitment to our communities, a family-based work environment here, and we honor and appreciate people, whether that's members or employees. We operate with a servant's heart, and we will continue to do that in the days ahead, and it will enable us to deliver top-notch results for you, our members, year in and year out. And I'm proud to tell you also that we just received Business North Carolina Magazine's Best Places to Work in North Carolina award, again for the 6th time. And I think it symbolizes the fact that our employees understand and embrace that our purpose here is to make life better for our members and the communities where you live. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug, for your report. And thank you and your employees for the excellent work that you do for our members. Excuse me. The next order of business is to report on the election. And I'd like to ask our outside counsel, Debbie Harden, to make that report. Debbie Harden.
Good afternoon again. Each year, your board of directors appoints a member committee to oversee the Cooperatives director election process, which includes certification of the election results today. This committee has reviewed the selection process and recommended and selected the independent election administrator. They reviewed and approved both the proxy and the ballot that were used in this election by members to vote. And as I said today, they are responsible for reviewing and certifying the results of the election. The appointment of the committee occurs in December of each year, and it is for a one-year period. I want to recognize this hard-working committee who met with me numerous times over this year, and those members are Robert Marshall from Caldwell District, Allison Jennings from Watauga District, Marty Norris and Andy Sexton from the Ash District, and Chris Jones from the Allegheny District. All of these members of the Credentials and Election Committee have been on site today, meeting with Survey and Balance System and reviewing the results of the election. And their last function today is to certify the process, certify the outcome. Because of the pandemic, the chair of this year's Credentials and Elections Committee, Marty Norris, asked me to report the results to you, the members, so that we didn't have to add another person to this room. So on behalf of the Credentials and Elections Committee, I hereby make their report. The Credentials and Elections Committee of 2021 certifies the following election results. Caldwell District, the C&E Committee declares Kelly Melton as the newly elected director to the board of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. Watauga District, the Credentials and Elections Committee declares Joy Coffey the newly elected director to the board of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. Ash, the Credentials and Election Committee declares Cindy Price the newly elected director to the board of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corp. And finally, Allegheny District, the Credentials and Election Committee declares Mitch Franklin the newly elected director to the board. This concludes the report of the Credentials and Election Certification and Election Results. On behalf of us all, I congratulate the 2021 newly elected directors, and a special thanks to all who've participated in this election process. Those 4 newly elected directors, Melton, Coffey, Price, and Franklin, will be installed later this evening at the June 2021 regular board meeting. At this time, I return the chair to President Joines.
Thank you, Attorney Harden. We have now come to that part of the business meeting where members have the opportunity to ask questions. Your board of directors values this opportunity to hear questions from the members, and we have reserved a portion of the annual meeting to be able to hear from you. Again, if you have a question or a comment you would like to make it at this time, you must dial *3 and you will be in the queue for your question. I'll pause just for a moment to see if we have any members who would like to ask a question. We have none. Ladies and gentlemen, your annual meeting is over as of 4:45 this afternoon. Thank you for your participation and good evening.